2016. Bernie in Minnesota, the Westlake landfill bomb, and McAvoy monologues. Today, that's what we'll be discussing, and hopefully you actually heard me saying these things over the intro music. Trying some new stuff today, everybody. Give me 1 second here. Hey, everybody. Well, that sort of worked. And Celeste, as soon as I see Sean show up, I will let him in. He's not showing up in the lower third yet. Sean, you're late. But no, show up. Audio good. Awesome. Good morning, everybody. There you are, Sean. Let's get you in here. There we go. Good morning, everybody. It's January 28th. Looks like audio is okay. Looks like we have Sean in. And wow. Look at this. And now I can hear myself. Paul, MGGH or M2GH2. Who else we got in here? J Vintage 1970, not for sale, Bernie 2016. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for being here. It's really nice. It's good to have an audience. It's nice to be broadcasting to somebody and having a conversation. We've got some really cool stuff going on this morning. I want to, before I forget, new thing. I want you all to try it out. So I pull up the lower third. A place for you to rant. I want to be able to collect your comments, your bigger comments and quotes, not just for the newsroom, but on other Bernie shows and other things that we do. And I realize that the lower third that we have really doesn't give you enough, space to say what you want, enough words, enough text to say what you want there. So, and I'm still adjusting audio, guys. Apologize if it's going up or down a little bit. 46 already. Wow. Hey, guys. Nice to have you. op.bernie2016.tv. If you go there now, op.bernie2016.tv is a form. It's a very simple form. It gives you 500 characters, and if I need to expand that, I will. Right now, I think that fits well in the screen as I've got it. I made a quick overlay, and here, I'll show you what that does, guys. If I can find it, what I do is it. Here it is down here. So this is our test of the Celeste test of the McAvoy monologue. I believe human beings are a virus upon the earth, and we have successfully set about our own extinction and the annihilation of all life on this planet from a pissy old bitch. And that's actually... So, yes, there's a test, and we have others in here, but this gives you guys, as you can see, a lot more space to tell me what you want to say, and that's the whole point of this. Now I got to find it and take it off here. But so please, op.bernie2016.tv is a McAvoy monologue, and it is so named in honor of Will McAvoy, the fictitious anchor on ACN, which was the also fictitious newsroom show on mainstream media that actually attempted to have integrity. Ridiculously fictitious there. But Will McAvoy was played by Jeff Daniels, and his monologues, which were written by Aaron Sorkin, and these beautiful, just, it brought me to tears sometimes. Like, this is absolutely what I want to hear an anchor say. Why don't anchors say this stuff? That is absolutely the question I would have asked that piece of shit politician. Why don't I hear anchors ask this stuff? And this is several years ago, folks. And I was like, what a beautiful show, except it doesn't exist. It's not real. That's not how news functions. Although, apparently, Rachel Maddow is gaining some big points with what she did yesterday in Flint, and that's the Flint Town Hall. We have a story that relates to that, but... how is everybody? How are you, Celeste? Are you talkable now, or are you still coughing? I noticed you were hacking up there.
Yeah, I was. I won't talk about why I was hacking up, but yes, I was hacking up. I'm good. Good morning, everyone. How are we today? Hi, Sean. Hi, Lou.
Hello. Good morning, Celeste.
Good morning.
All right, everybody. Well, hey. So, and we've got a bunch of people in the audience. 42 joining us so far, 67 playbacks already. How is everybody out there today? Go fill out that McAvoy monologue. I'm going to take a look at what's going on with it. Celeste, anything you want to talk about anything this morning before we move on?
No, I'm going to let you handle your stuff, and why don't we handle our dirty bomb stuff a little bit later on in the broadcast. I'll push out the new comment app for our audience into the chat, and we'll go from there.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So really quickly, I want to cover something really quickly. Yes, I am well aware that Bernie was in Minnesota. So does everybody. Even mainstream media had to acknowledge that Bernie was in Minnesota last night. And, you know, guys, there was something that Quinn said last night about mainstream media at Mason. Bernie was in Mason, and this is a complete aside to what I was actually going to talk about. But he said something that's really important. He said, there are a lot of people mad about the press being here. There was this big press firewall because now all of the press agencies here, and they were thinking that this was actually the first time all of the press had been at a Bernie rally, and that's actually not the case. The sad thing is, this is the really sad thing is that at every Bernie rally, mainstream media is there. ABC, NBC, they all film it. They all go there and film Bernie. They just don't show you. What they're looking for is something that will improve ratings. They're waiting for a screw up. They're waiting for something to happen, somebody to die, Bernie to get shot. They're waiting for something evil, bad, because that's how they make ratings. And so they don't show you what's actually going on at these rallies. They just record the footage in the hopes. They send these people out in the hopes that they will get something that is newsworthy, which in their minds, in the entertainment news world, that's something happening that is not what is actually happening. That's something bad happening on top of the actual event. And so, you know, they're there. That's the really sad thing about mainstream media is that they have every opportunity to bring the public Bernie Sanders. They're at these events. They just choose not to. So I wanted to make that clear. And so as we work to bring you Bernie Sanders and continue to create programs that hopefully inform the electorate, which is our goal here at Bernie 2016 TV. This is a moveon.org petition. I probably should give you guys a better screenshot of it. There, see, proof. It's moveon.org. The comments on here are fantastic. And you can reach this by free.bernie2016.tv. Why do I want you to go here? I want you to go here because we are trying to get the attention of YouTube and the powers that be, the elitist 1% at YouTube and Google. This is not about copyright infringement. I want to make that clear. There's been a lot of confusion. Yes, Channel 1 was shut down by Viacom for copyright infringement. I'm not even going to question that, even though we were talking about political commentary. I'm not even going to question that. I talked to Viacom, and it is what it is. Channel 2 was shut down by CNN, claiming they had rights to the debate. That one is a legal case, and I'm not talking about Channel 2 either, because Channels 1 and 2 are not, they're not completely shut down. You can see the videos that are there, but you can't, I can't stream from them. So as far as I'm concerned as a broadcaster in the modern era where we use streaming, when your channel can't stream, it pretty much renders the channel useless other than for an archive. Channel 3 was negated. Channel 3 was deleted for terms of service for Section H, and this is what this petition is about. Okay, twice now, Channels 3 and Channel 4. Channel 4 was shut down just recently. That's why we're on Channel 5 right now, folks. But Channel 4 was shut down for terms of service for Section H. That's two channels shut down for terms of service for Section H with absolutely no explanation whatsoever. None. We've sent them legal letters. We've had no response. I've tried to reach them in social. We've tried to send emails. As a matter of fact, and let me see if I can't find this. No, that's the wrong one. That's a bunch of Bernie supporters. This is here. This is the response. I actually got one response from YouTube from what I believe is a human being, and it is regarding what I violated in terms of service for Section H. And actually, it's just it's just a quote of terms of service for Section H, because I said, please tell me what in the world of this I violated. And what they had to say was, you agree not to use or launch any automated system including without limitation robots, spiders, or offline readers that access the service in a manner that sends more requests, messages, to the YouTube servers in a given period of time than a human can reasonably produce in the same period by using a conventional online web browser. Now, this is where the language gets funky. What they are claiming here is that we are using some kind of an automation process that creates more online activity than a human could possibly do through a web browser. That's literally their words. More online activity than a human could possibly produce through a web browser. What they are saying right there is that you are robots. Because this system, what we do, engagement broadcasting, where we take your comments, we put them into the Google spreadsheet, then we overlay them on the screen. That is not an automated process. And it's perfectly legal, and we're not collecting any data. Everything they say in this terms of service, we don't do. We are not a commercial outfit. We are not monetized. We're doing none of this for commercial reasons. YouTube thinks that the engagement broadcast system that we use here is an automation and a robot creating lies. They think your comments are automated, created spiders, bots, bullshit. And they won't talk to me about it. So please, that's all I'm going to say. We're going to move away from this. But I wanted to hit that right up front this morning, guys. This here is how we hopefully get their attention. We're at 1,700 people so far, and you guys are making great comments like, stop violating our freedom of speech. YouTube censors. You're acting like petty fascist jerks. We will fight for our rights. We have millions of grassroots activists around the nation. Don't tread on us anymore with unfair treatment and phony excuses for shutting down Bernie 2016 TV. Damn straight. Give me a real reason, YouTube, or work with me. I offered you this technology. You're just scared of it, and you're an elitist establishment corporation, and you don't want it to function. You will not stop us. Channel 5, 6, 7, 8, and I don't care how many frickin' channels. And for those of you who wonder why I have to use YouTube, why we have to use YouTube, it is because YouTube is 50% of Google search, and Google search is 95% of global search. YouTube is the Walmart of video. It is half of Google search, and if I want to reach any age group 40 or younger, they're on YouTube. So this is why. There is no other place to go. They have a monopoly in that sense, and we need to rely on it, just like all the other candidates do, except they have mainstream media networks to use. Right? This is Bernie's primary medium. And so we need to be allowed to use this. This is a First Amendment issue, but the terms of service thing is what I'm trying to, like, what the hell are you talking about here? What the hell are you talking about? Celeste, Sean, what's going on out there? You guys have anything to say so I can find the next topic? Anyone?
Well, right now I'm up on Twitter tweeting some stuff out, so you can always find us there and check us out at Bernie 2016 TV. And we're always tweeting out tons of stuff during our broadcasts, and we're getting better at it for the newsroom, on mornings like this. So definitely check us out there.
Awesome, thank you. And we are going to look at Salon article here, folks. In the news, Bernie Sanders continues to sweep the nation. Bernie on the brink. The latest New Hampshire numbers reveal a national trend, and I guess if they're just now revealing that national trend to mainstream media, they're a little late to the game. The people have been well aware that Bernie has swept the nation for quite some time. We've been well aware since June. This is what the reality is. The Sanders campaign knows that they are ahead. This is what the article says. The more the public is exposed to Sanders, the more popular he becomes, and he's got the Donald totally whipped. And we'll scroll down in a bit to the actual statistics, but if you just go to the Mason event, which we've listed in our rundown last night, if you guys didn't see what happened in Mason, we're going to talk about that, because Mason was a beautiful example of the power of the people. It was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful example of what they're talking about, how Bernie is sweeping the nation. And I've got some pictures from it. Bernie Sanders was in Mason City, Minnesota last night. Sorry, right? Minnesota. We're going all over the place. Visit Iowa. No, Iowa, because it's Iowa. Because right, he was in Minnesota the day before. Okay, he was in St. Paul, Minnesota the day before. People, I can't even keep up with where the guy goes. There are so many events happening. It's insane. He was in St. Paul, Minnesota the day before and drew 23,000 people. They had 5,000 people in an overflow at an 18,000 capacity stadium. Hillary Clinton does not draw this ever. Ever. Bill Clinton was in Mason last night trying to get support for Hillary because Hillary was in Philadelphia at an expensive plate dinner for Wall Street buddies. I've got an article from The Intercept on that. While Hillary was looking for money from Wall Street last night and Bill was pimping out in Mason City, Bernie Sanders drew a crowd of more than 1,100 people to a 350-person capacity event in a little town called Mason City. More than 1,100 people. The link is in our run, and we have a great conversation that happened on the ground. It was just raw. We didn't have the C-SPAN gave us the footage, and C-SPAN was a great C-SPAN. Man, you had like 3-4 camera shots. You were doing panning. It was beautiful. I don't know how they pulled it. I mean, normally C-SPAN's like one shot, and it looks like the guys that playing around is just learning how to use a camera. This was gorgeous, like 3-4 camera shots, and look at it. It's this little town hall place, 350 people, 500 people max. 1,100 people showed up in the freezing cold, and our on-the-ground reporter Quinn Simmons has fantastic interview footage. The audio is a little shitty because it was really loud there, and we didn't have a mic for Quinn, but he's got some amazing testimony. Click on that link. Go look at that. It was an incredible event. That's what they're talking about, though. That's what Salon is talking about. As Bernie Sanders is exposed to the people go, holy shit, where'd this guy come from? Where's his cape? What do we need to do for him? That's what the people say. And Hillary goes, shit. I mean, this is basically what's going on. She is doing her best. I think she's actually going to abandon the people effort and just go for the corrupt DNC and the corrupt elitist crowd and hope that she can win them over and force the vote of the people out, and that's going to cause a civil war, and we don't want that to happen. What we need is for everybody to rise in droves, just like they did in Mason all across the country, and we need to make certain that we vote. The big issue with Iowa is that they're saying Bernie has the lead, but it depends on how many women show up, and we're going to look at another article that talks about that. But Mason City last night. Bernie is showing the world. Let's see if I can find these numbers, because he talked about his lead. Now, this was originally an alternate, and we actually ran this article yesterday. But I want to scroll down to the bottom where it shows the leads. Here we go. In a matchup of the current New Hampshire frontrunners in each party, Sanders leads Republican businessman Donald Trump 57% to 34%, with 6% favoring another candidate and 3% undecided. Independents favor Sanders 55% to 33%. Clinton leads Trump 58% to 39%. Or, I'm sorry, 48%. Clinton leads Trump 48% to 39%. That's a 9-point lead with 10% supporting another candidate and 3% undecided. Right. Basically, what this says is that if we want to put anybody up against Trump, who's the leader right now, or Cruz, who's the sort of leader, it doesn't matter. Bernie Sanders destroys them both with much more of a commanding lead than Hillary has. And that's all you need to know if you're going to vote party line, Dems. That's all you need to know. Which one of my candidates has a better chance of beating the Republican piece of shit? Because nobody wants one of those Republican pieces of shit in office. Nobody would stand for it. You won't see me standing for either Cruz or Trump in office. I'll either leave this country or do something about it myself. Okay? But Bernie Sanders is the person who we know. Here's the stats, folks. Hillary can tell you whatever she wants to tell you. Hillary can go do more plate lunches in Philly for 27 grand. I guess you could bundle up with buddies and donate 27 grand in one shot. Wouldn't that be nice? So while Bernie's average donation is $27, folks, Hillary has plate dinners where you can bundle your donation with a partner from Wall Street and send her $27,000. And at the same time she's raising $27,000 in a bundled dinner package, she's sending me emails. I have one right here. I should just pull it up. Oh, I don't have the email. I love the emails. This email she said when she tells me that Bernie Sanders is out, she says, "My friend, I need your help. Bernie Sanders is outspending us on ads in Iowa." You're raising $27K a dinner, and you're telling me you can't afford to outspend us? Right? Miss Corporate got millions and millions of dollars? What I think it is, Hillary, and what you know, is that it has nothing to do with the ads. Yeah, Bernie cranked out some really good ads because they're great, and he's got good people, all the people working for him. You know it really wouldn't matter. You could make a full-length feature film about you, and nobody would go see it other than to say, yep, that's why I'm not voting for you. Ads aren't going to work. You know it. Your campaign's done. You're toast. All you have now is the establishment behind you, and that's getting smaller and smaller as the people rise and recognize that Bernie is the man. So, sorry, Hillary. Anybody want to expound on that, or we want to move into The Intercept? We're just going to look at The Intercept article, actually, because the picture on the cover is great. They do a lot of these, you know, they've done these damning things with Bernie making this. I love this. You see how that is? Oh, we made Hillary look guilty. Good. She should look guilty. She is. She's going to the elite party. This is... My wife said this to me. My wife said this to me yesterday, and it was kind of sad. She goes, wow, it really is kind of looking like the Hunger Games. Like Donald Trump would be like the crazy frickin' Hunger Game leader guy. And we're almost at a state in America where we kind of function that way. We do. We send our children off to war. Here's your reward for being a child in the United States of America. You can either live in poverty, you can go fight in our military and die, but we'll hand you some money for college. It's like the Hunger Games, folks. Hillary's raising money from big finance people, and if you don't think this company that she went to, big Wall Street folks, big Wall Street folks. And at the same time she's telling you she's going to impose, saying she's going to tell, we'll make sure Wall Street doesn't do that again, and we're going to close that little tax loophole that I happen to be using. She's using a tax loophole that she says she's going to close, and she says she wants to regulate Wall Street, stop them from doing whatever, and she's meeting with them to ask them for money. 27 grand a shot. What do you think that translates to into where her allegiance lies? Who is she going to take care of if she's in office? It's going to be the people that gave her 27 grand. Not me. If I were a Hillary voter and I could give her 27 bucks, which would probably be my maximum donation. When she looks at that, she'll go, I need to take care of 27K guy. I need to take care of $1.5 million guy. I need to take care of Goldman Sachs. I need to take care of these guys over here. The people fall really, really low on the priority list when your priority list is organized by funds. Look at it that way. What's going on in live production? That's a great picture from last night. Is that what you're showing me here?
Yeah, I dropped that in live production just so that you could show people the photo that Quinn sent us of the crowd for Bernie. And this was, I believe, right after he got done speaking, John? Was that about when Quinn shot that, or was that before?
I think this is before, but there's a bunch of these pictures out there. Thank you for dropping this in.
Sure.
Let me get this up on the screen and show everybody. This is, I mean, they basically had a fire hazard, folks. That's looking back. Okay, Bernie is the other direction. This is looking back. There were people out the door. This is how crazy this place was. If you don't think the people want Bernie Sanders, then you work for the 1%. This is the people's choice. I have never in my life, I know Celeste will say the same, I know Sean will say the same, I know Lou will say the same. None of us in this hangout, this gives me goosebumps. In my life, I have never seen a man do this. In my life, I did not think I would see a man do this. Man or woman, in my life, I did not think I would see anybody in politics with the balls, the courage to call out our corrupt government. I will do anything for this man. Anything. And you see that crowd of people? They feel exactly the same way. Exactly the same way. We cannot be stopped. There is no elitist power group in this world with the power to stop this many people. Because what happened in Mason is happening all over the United States and all over the world, folks. This is happening all over the world. We have volunteers showing up all the time. Belgium, France, you name it. We want to work for you. What can we do? We can't even vote in your country, but we damn well want Bernie Sanders elected. This is unprecedented. This is historic. It's badass.
Hey, John,
Yes.
in chat,
Yes.
and I know that we kind of pop this stuff up in our broadcast setup information. Brenda Brown was asking if we had seen that Anne Frank's sister compared Trump to Hitler, and I know that we had that article in our lineup. I just wanted to bring that up, that Brenda had seen that.
Interesting.
As
Yeah,
well.
I hadn't. So I hadn't heard that Anne Frank's sister had made that statement. That's pretty cool.
Oh, you hadn't? Wow, I
No.
thought. Go ahead.
The article I had one article yesterday about Trump. No. The article I had wasn't about Trump Hitler. It was about a judge in Oregon, believe it or not. A judge in Oregon who hung a picture of Hitler somewhere in the courtroom and was refusing to marry gay people. And I'm like, and he's still a judge? Again, a white dude in power, he's got a robe, can call himself judge. He's doing something that is not okay. And he's claiming, this is why it's not okay, he's claiming religious protection, that he worships Hitler. And I'm not going to go down the line of religion. But that was the article I was talking about, and it was just filler for the end, because I don't like talking about Trump unless it's very at the end, okay? Because he reminds me of the end. But yeah, we can talk about that with Anne Frank. The other article I had was about him. It was a video of him getting tomatoes thrown at him, which I thought was appropriate. But, So anyway, let's look at this. This is another piece of the Bernie Sanders. This is Washington Post. Getting some echo from somebody. I'm not sure where it's coming from. This is Washington Post. Hi, all 70 of you watching. It's nice. Nice to have you here. Thank you. We'll look at those comments here in a second, guys. Look at those comments in a second. Yeah, Noam. I know Noam Chomsky. Okay. This is interesting. This is a Washington Post, and the title of this is here you see. New Iowa poll shows Bernie Sanders leading with some red flags. Now, the red flags they're talking about are the fact that Hillary Clinton does better amongst women, go figure, and that the one thing that would make Hillary have a chance at all at winning Iowa would be if for some reason all the women showed up to vote for her and men stayed home. That's basically where the issue comes. If men don't go vote and women go vote, or all the women lock their men in the home and say, you cannot go vote for Bernie Sanders because we're going to rise and go vote for Hillary, and it would take a commanding number of them to rise and go vote for Hillary. Okay? But that's basically what they're saying here, is Hillary has a shot in Iowa if a whole bunch of women get up there and go vote. So I'm fairly certain that we're okay. I'll show you the chart. I'm fairly certain we're okay. And scroll down and look at some of these things here. Preference among demographic groups. Should have done it this way. Then you didn't have to look. So here we go. Sanders is in yellow. Clinton is in green. Amongst men, go figure. Amongst women, go figure. But then when you look at the overall, 18 to 44, I mean, come on. Now, this surprised me. Well, I guess it does. The 45 to 64, I really thought would have been, Sanders. I don't know what's going on, but that's getting into baby boomerish land, right? No, not even. I don't even know what that is. And then 65 plus. That to me, that number is just, you're when you get that age, I'm just going to vote Democrat because that's what I've done for the last 40 years. And so we got to wake that group up, and that's part of the group that if you're not involved in politics, and you're probably not on the web, so that is the group that is most likely getting information from mainstream media and is just going to vote party line, which is damning. Net favorability in Iowa. All voters. Okay. So here's where they're saying that the women could play a role here. Not even a role, but some kind of role. Do you see what I'm saying? So the women for saying, they still want Sanders. They're just closer. That's all they're saying. Overall, we want Sanders. But it's what they're saying is that back in 2008. And then there's some stuff about votes versus experience. I didn't know all this stuff. Then it got all technical. But they're saying in 2008 that was a factor for Obama. It was the women's vote in Iowa versus the men's vote, blah, blah, blah. If you just look at the straight numbers, Bernie's going to win Iowa. Bernie's going to annihilate New Hampshire. It's just got a ridiculous lead in New Hampshire. And then he'll take South Carolina because we had some other endorsements today that we'll talk about. Let's see what the let's take a look at your rants. I think we have some rants. All right. Outside of let's see, who's this? Here we go. Now there is a space to add your name. If you don't, that's fine. So here's somebody. I think it is an absolute shame that so many in this country cannot understand what the hell is going on in our country, let alone our world. Was that Lou? Was that you, Lou? Was that a test? Or was that somebody? Thank you, folks, for all your hard work. All right. Here we go. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Piston, Indiana. Yes, absolutely. Saw this video. Bernie's Facebook, YouTube version here. 30 years of speeches in 9 minutes perfectly showcases his consistency and his tireless fight for American people. Excellent. Excellent. Now, if that's the there was the grassroots video that we have that was 8 minutes, and this is a different one. That's fine, but I've got another one that compares him with John F. Kennedy, so we'll have to look at that. I don't think spouses that didn't earn enough credits for Social Security in inches or yards or miles when 50+ years old should not be punished when found disabled in the kicker. And no medical for that spouse if they are in a state with no expanded Medicaid left slowly to die. Absolutely, abso-freaking-lutely. Because this what we're talking about here is that, that's a good point. It's basically saying you were the spouse, you weren't the breadwinner, your husband's dead, or your wife's dead if they were the breadwinner, and you're screwed. You're screwed. It's Social Security is such a really, when it was created, at the time, women, and forgive me for saying this, you're not as much now. You're still second-class citizens in the United States of America in many ways. But at the time that this was created, you were definitely second-class citizens, okay? And men treated you that way, and laws were written that way. And this is what's, it's like assuming, well, there's women will be workers, or women won't be workers. Women will be at home having babies, blah, blah. I mean, it's freaking ridiculous. It's also part of that I hate to say it, but that Depression era thinking, where we don't have enough. It's about scarcity thinking, and we need to get out of that scarcity thinking model into abundance thinking. And abundance thinking, even though it sounds like a big foofy word that a lot of Portlandia folks would use, and that's because, yes, we do, because it's social. Abundance thinking means we know, and Bernie says it, there is no reason for anybody in this country to go hungry, to not have a job, to not have shelter, to not have clean water, food, to not have all the basic needs met. We are capable of that. We have the resources. We are the greatest nation ever in the history of the earth if we pull our heads out of our asses and take care of ourselves. We have to defeat the elitist one class to do it. They're not interested, 1%. They're not interested in taking care of all. They're interested in using all to take care of themselves. But Bernie says it. You know, this is about taking care of all of us. We have the ability. We have the money. I don't even think it doesn't need to come from Wall Street speculation, folks. The military budget needs to be diced. It needs to be sliced up and redistributed. That's where the wealth goes. Most of our wealth goes to the military-industrial complex, which needs to be destroyed, eliminated, and all the companies involved in it need to be removed from anything having to do with our government. They are all vile. That includes companies like GE, who puts out commercials showing how great they are making light bulbs. You also make weapons of war, GE. You're a lying piece of shit corporation. We're paying you money for shit you're not even made. Yeah, let's not even go there. Got contracts that insist that we pay you. Insist that we pay you for weapons we don't even ask for. But that's where the money comes from, folks. Where we take care of all. Everybody has a home. Everybody has a job. Everybody has something. Everybody has their needs met. That is what Social Security is, from the time you were born in this country to the time you die. That's how human beings can take care of each other. It is possible. We do have the resources. We will make it happen. Because we are the 99, and Bernie knows it can be done, and Bernie will get it done with us. Social Security needs to be expanded to the point where we are taken care of for real. The 1% gets taken care of for real. Congress gets taken care of for real. They don't have any of these problems, therefore they have no fucking idea what they are like. They are completely separated from these problems. Hillary has no clue about your problems, and she doesn't give a shit either. Social Security needs to be expanded. That was a great statement there. Oh, look, we have some more. There, exactly. This is what we're talking about. Hillary will never win by telling people what they can't achieve. You know what? There isn't anything we can't achieve, Hillary. Great leaders, great people throughout history make statements like that. We will succeed. We can do it all. They don't say, well, I think we're only going to be able to do $12. Yeah, that's inspiring. That's inspiring. What else we got? John, I think you can say it's extra 5. Really, Ryan? I get an extra $5 in this, per episode because I cut my hair? I have just been so busy. I needed to. Yeah.
Well, you just wasted one.
I did. I just wasted one fuck. No, they don't count when I just. They have to be used in a rant, not just talking about the word. It's not fair. It's not fair. Come on.
Oh, who said life is fair? Come on.
All right. Here, let's.
Real news every morning, folks. Right here.
Here, Celeste, they're going to look at you while I pull up the next article because I don't even know where we're at. Yes, Robert Reich is great, and I have Robert Reich's video loaded up. We might. $5.
Hey, it came up a little bit earlier in chat too, and I said that what they needed to do is start collecting money so that they can donate it to Bernie on the F-bombs that we drop.
Yeah. Good.
Engagement broadcasting.
Yes.
Exactly.
Full effect.
F-bombs for Bernie. And notice I didn't say it.
That's true. All right, let's look at a few pictures. A few things on the slide deck I wanted to cover in no particular order here. This is one of my screenshots from Mason. All right. The beauty of this, guys, you can go back through and find a lot of these quotes. There were some beautiful quotes that came out last night, but it was the raw interview with Quinn. He was just, it wasn't even an interview. It was before Bernie starts in this, and you can't really see much. You kind of hear some person talking, and Quinn's just talking to somebody who's there, And a conversation is so beautiful. It is so absolutely what the 99 are saying. If mainstream media picked up that conversation, oh my God, it was so beautiful. You should go find it. I'm going to have Janine find it and kind of clean it up and pull it out, because it was inspiring. This whole thing is inspiring. And, as more and more people learn that this is a political revolution, that this is not just a boring old election cycle, it becomes even more inspiring. A quick note, I wake up every morning just like, we work long days and nights. Everybody does. I'm not complaining. But I wake up and go, by the time I read through news, by the time I get to this show, I have fuel. By the time we get through the show, I'm inspired. By the time we get to the Bernie rally, I'm ready to go. And after I hear Bernie, I have so much energy that I can't go to sleep. That's my cycle every day. I've never had another person inspire me so much. I've never had this is the most fulfilling, most incredible thing I have ever done. And I'm just telling you that because I can't thank you all enough for making it happen, for being here, for accepting me and all the shit that comes out of my mouth, and all of this group of people and what we do here, and that it's not professional. It doesn't look all sparkly like mainstream media. It doesn't look nearly as good as what they do on the Young Turks. But it was about the content. It was about us doing it together. I'm gonna make myself cry. But this is just beautiful. Thank you for being here, everybody. It's fucking beautiful. That deserves a fuck. Certainly deserves a fuck. That was a picture from.
Well said, John.
Thank you.
I gotta jump in here. I gotta jump in here while you're looking for your next thing. The entire chat room lit up with F-bombs, just so you know, while we're discussing not F-bombing.
Well,
rack up the dollars, folks.
Wait. It gets even better. Iniko posted that she enjoyed your rant the other day, where you basically said, "We will stay fuck."
Well,
oh shit! I just said it. Damn.
You did. Thanks, guys.
And then there was a suggestion that we get a jar, and a Bernie jar, so that every time we do it, we have to contribute to that jar. Sorry, Jesus. Folks, I've already got a jar built up in the corner.
I still have to make another donation. I owe the donation of $9, and I owe a donation of $3 for 2 bets. So I still have to make those. And if I had to make a donation for every fuck, I would have to shut the station down.
Oh yeah.
Even if it was just $1, But yeah,
well, yeah.
that would be cool.
We'd all be in a homeless camp for the F-bombers,
Yes. It's, you know what? Maybe that's just my old. Maybe that's just me being old. I go back and forth between feeling okay with using the F word or not, and I think about the show, and I think about who's watching the show, and I'm like, well, what if somebody's there and they're I don't know, young kid is watching the show, and here's this guy, and then I'm like, really? I bounce back and forth because I got kid. I think it's okay. I think it's okay as long as what it doesn't do is take away from the message. As long as what it's not detracting, that it's not so much that it takes away from the point. Right?
Well, but that gets into a matter of people's perception. It's like what you find acceptable in context, others might not. And
right.
And I do understand, but I'm 55 years old and I've hit that point. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm truly tired of a lot of the conformity that we're all kind of funneled into just simply by peer pressure. And language is an expression, and let's face it, with what we have going on in this country, swear words are kind of appropriate to describe the morass of shit that we are in because of the greed of others. And no matter what you do, when you boil everything down, it's a matter of economics. It's the economics of a handful of people versus the economics of a mass of people. And it's just no longer a sustainable system. And it deserves fucking cuss words when we're talking about it, because it should not be allowed to happen. And it ties into everything that you were saying earlier, John, having to do with money in politics, people who have their own agendas, and their agendas do not align with ours. They need us to perform the labor services so that they can reap the benefits. And the news nowadays is geared towards, when you hear profits in record numbers, and the stock market is this, although I understand it's tanking nowadays. Since I no longer have stock, I don't pay any attention. It's all that funneling of wealth of the masses into a handful of hands, so that we're screwed. So that's my rant for the broadcast this morning. Thank you very much.
There you go. Very nice. Very nice. Wonderful. Good rant. Here's the picture I wanted to show. So this is Bill Clinton's setup wherever he was in Mason. So I just wanted to show, to say Bill got some people. I don't know, But notice nobody's getting near Bill. Nobody's getting near Bill. Yeah, that's Bill Clinton's setup. Here's the Bernie mob behind. These guys aren't even the ones close to him. Here's a meme from our volunteer Dan, which you can't see all of. I suppose that would be helpful if you could. There we go. I like that. Going back to an old style label, an old style meme. The reason I'm showing you these, there's actually an educational value here, folks, is because, let's cut to this one. This is an old meme. All right, this is we are repeating ourselves. History is repeating itself, folks. I mean, these are posters. These are protest posters from the past. Okay. And it's kind of sad that we are repeating this history. 100 years ago, America was really in the same place. There were a few slight differences. Teddy Roosevelt was in office, but Teddy got in office because, well, McKinley was shot. Teddy wasn't even supposed to be in office, folks. Okay, so we were lucky there. Teddy was a Bernie. But the country was pretty effed up at the time. Corporate money was everywhere. The corporate media at the time was newspapers. And the newspapers were owned by the rich people. So you had an elite government, you had an elite media group, and you had an elite class of folks that were completely separated from the rest of the 99. And you had a president of the people who wasn't quite aware what was going on, but he wasn't stupid. And he recognized corruption. And what happened was Teddy was a journalist. He was a writer. And so he became friends with journalists that were in independent media at the time. People like the Young Turks of the day. And us. And they started telling him, look, man, what your Congress is telling you, what's going on that you think is happening, what Rockefeller's telling you, what Carnegie is telling you, they're full of shit. What Ford is telling you, what Edison is telling you, it's not true. There's big problems. The 99 have big problems. There's children working endless hours. It's horrible. The conditions for the people in the United States are terrible. And he said, really? That's not what I'm seeing in the news. That's not what's being reported to me by my advisors. That's not what I'm being told when I talk to Rockefeller or Carnegie. They're not telling. What do you mean? You can't tell me things are that bad. And they said, yeah, come look. Here, read our stories. Come see what's going on. And he went, oh, shit. We got problems, folks. And so we made big changes. He made big changes. The whole reason you have a weekend to go be a weekend is because of Teddy. The whole reason you have a 40-hour work week is Teddy. Not just Teddy, but independent journalists that stood up and said, this is wrong. This is bullshit, folks. What you're hearing on the news is not the truth. So we are repeating ourselves. That was the point, is to say, these are beautiful memes. Thank you, Dan, for pulling them up. But we are repeating. History is repeating itself. This time, folks, it's much worse. The evil is much bigger. It's much more expansive. It's global. It has much more power. And we have our Teddy. He's just not in office yet. And once he gets into office, we have to deal with all the other corrupt fuckers. I'm going to use an F-bomb there. We have the same problem. We can fix it. We will fix it. That is the difference between Hillary and Bernie in a nutshell. We want to fix these problems. Hillary wants to address some issues she thinks might be some problems that maybe we'll look at. But she doesn't have a plan to do it, and she really doesn't give a shit about what happens. She just wants to get in office so that she can keep things the way they are, folks. They've done this over and over and over and over. Even the most indoctrinated person can see that we have been living a loop, like Groundhog Day. It's just, did we get a Dem or did we get a Republican? Repeating history, folks. Now, on to some other things. Tomorrow, now this is actually prototype. We're going to change this to say Arizona for Bernie, not music fundraiser, but Steph cranked this out for us earlier today. This is tomorrow live at 7 p.m. Eastern, and we have Aniko, one of our original ground reporters, the original ground reporter, I believe. Aniko will be there providing us a stream from this. There'll be live music. I don't know who all is playing. There's a link in the rundown to the Facebook event page. It has all the information on this. But or anybody? Celeste, Sean, you got information on that stuff? Anybody want to talk about this?
Yeah, I got you.
Lou? Sorry, I forgot you were in there, Lou. Hey, Lou.
Hey, it's no problem, John. Yeah, I'm looking at the web page here. It's looking like they're going to have quite a few Arizona representatives that are all endorsing and backing and supporting Bernie Sanders in his Democratic candidate run-up, including a fellow Progressive Caucus member, Senator Martin, and I apologize, sir, Quezada, and Representative Juan Mendez. Also performing will be Sean Mulaney. I hope I did say that right. And there's a link to his music and his album. And food will be provided by Paz Cantina. That's
Nice.
what they got. Back to you, John.
Thank you for that. Great rap. Thank you. Well, that'll be exciting. So we're doing that tomorrow, and I know we have events lined up. Bernie sent us a list of, I think he's doing 4 appearances on Friday, 4 appearances on Saturday, 3 appearances on Sunday, another appearance on Monday. I cranked through those yesterday. Hillary's probably got a plate lunch, and then maybe another plate lunch, and then maybe another plate lunch. Bernie is cranking around the country, talking to the people. A very different campaign. Let's talk about this, though. This is my favorite thing. So does everybody know that Hillary, was it Hillary? Rachel Maddow and somebody else, Chuck Todd, somebody called him, right? We don't like Chuck, do we? I don't remember. Chuck is not a fan, right? That's what shaking.
Chuck's a shill.
I don't watch these mainstream. I cannot. I just, as a matter of fact, I upset my wife sometimes. I cannot watch mainstream media. I just find their lack of professionalism too disgusting. And I guess Rachel Maddow is doing some things now that are improving her looks and what's going on there in terms of journalism. This is what she did with Flint. So great. So Rachel Maddow, MSNBC, Chuck Todd, unauthorized debate offer, right? And, of course, the DNC is like, we're not going to allow that. But the Hillary camp really wants it to happen because they think that she's performing better when she gets on these things because, like they did with the town forum, they spoon-fed her questions. They drilled the shit out of Bernie. They made it like the best Hillary night they could possibly be, and it didn't matter because in social, we all said, what a lying bitch. We all said, what a robot. You can play it up, MSM. Hillary camp. You can think all you want that what you did was increase Hillary's ratings. We know the truth. And we talked about this. When you look at Bernie, he just talks. He's not doing any high-level meta-thinking, worried about what he's got to say next. But you look at other politicians when they're really taking the time to say, what word should I use next? Because if I don't use the right word, I could really get myself in a lot of trouble here because I'm actually not telling the truth. You can see when somebody's having to prepare their statement. And Hillary had either prepped ahead of time or was very careful. It was a beautiful cakewalk for her, right? How was your morning? Compared to, people call you socialist, Bernie. What do you got to say about that? You're going to punish people, Bernie, right? What?
You're gonna raise taxes, Bernie.
Right. Yeah, the piece we ran yesterday on the Young Turks was fantastic. Tank did a great job of that. This is though. So MSNBC says let's do another debate, and the Hillary camp's like okay, and the DNC is like nobody's doing debates, and Bernie says you know what, you want to do some more debates? Let's do them right. Let's do them right, folks. Let's not do your way. Let's try the right way. Let's try a Sanders debate. So he basically says the Sanders campaign released a statement Wednesday, and actually I would rather find the full statement, but it should be in here, calling for additional debates in Democratic Party, but with provisions. The campaign is requesting one each in March, April, and May. All three must not be scheduled on a Friday, Saturday, or holiday. And all three must include Martin O'Malley, along with Sanders and Clinton. If the Clinton campaign will commit to this schedule, they say, we would ask the DNC to arrange a debate in New Hampshire on February 4th. This is perfectly reasonable, folks. Thank you for somebody calling out mainstream media and saying, how about putting a debate on a time when people are going to be around to watch it if you were the one who gets to control the broadcast? You shouldn't have the right to control the broadcast in the first place, but since you do, how about putting it during a time when people can actually watch it and when it's not competing with sports? You know, it's just, we realize that you're about ratings and making money, but this is our political process which was sold to you in the 1996 Telecommunications Act. And you lack integrity to even bother to put it on a time when people will be around to watch it. This is about our democracy. This is why mainstream media should not be allowed to broadcast political content, because doing shit like they do ruins our democracy, folks. The 1996 Telecommunications Act needs to be repealed, and that is one of my first things I want to list. Hey, Bernie, the things I would really like you to address: abolish the MIC, repeal the 96 Telecommunications Act, reinstate the Fairness Doctrine. Those are the three on the top of my list. Now, the second two probably be finished faster than abolishing the military-industrial complex. That's going to take some time. But Sanders' statement here is perfect. Yes, let's do some debates. How about some debates worthy of the American people? How about some debates on the American people's time? If you were going to own the content, you greedy assholes, show it when we're around. Because you certainly don't give us access to it when it's done, and if you do, you've chopped it up, you've edited it, you've filtered it, you've made it worthless, you've made it what you want it to be. This is why we are here. This is why we are cataloging everything that happens, why we try to record them, why we go through this trouble, why we screenshot all of your quotes and push it out on the web. We want to create a real archive, not the bullshit play that MSM delivers. We want the real archive of what the real people have to say about all of this. Bernie is trying to help make that happen. Let's do some real debates. Let's put them on times and dates that make sense to the American people. Let's make it about the American people, not about your ratings, not about what commercials you can run, not about your bobbleheads. Let's do democracy. If you're going to own the content, then do it right. That's what we're asking. Have some fucking integrity. You haven't had it for decades. Rachel, if you're trying to bring some in with Flint, I sure hope so, but quite frankly, I don't trust it. As far as I'm concerned, it's another goddamn ratings ploy. Flint just needs to be taken care of. I hope you got your money out of your ratings or whatever you did with that. But this is beautiful, the debate. Sorry, that pisses me off. A little ranty there, folks. Anybody else want to say anything about that?
Yeah, but I'll jump in on that.
Please.
Well, let's tag team this rant about debates, because let's just call once again the hypocrisy in our quote-unquote democracy. First off, I would like to just quote from Jeff Weaver, Bernie's campaign manager, as we all know. He said, from the beginning of this campaign, Senator Sanders has called for more debates, along with Martin O'Malley. I'll give him credit. Secretary Clinton has not. Now she's asking to change the rules to schedule a debate next week that is not sanctioned by the DNC. Why is that? I think we all know. The answer is obvious. The dynamics of the race have changed, and Senator Sanders has significant momentum, i.e. we're winning the fight. To be honest, folks, this is deja vu. In 2007, when debates were not looking like they were going to help Hillary out, or they might possibly give her an edge again. She ran attack ads against President Barack Obama at the time in Wisconsin, daring him, calling him a coward, saying, oh, you don't want to debate. This time, this has been, oh, we're going to keep her as far away from anybody else as possible so she could be the front runner. Hi, Debbie. That was real smart thinking. But now that she's fallen so far behind in New Hampshire, these polls in Iowa are starting to inch into that double-digit range. Now it's let's get a debate done in such short notice. I personally have a question to the Democratic National Party. Do you honestly believe that none of us, the 99, who actually are wide awake and seeing politics as it is, are any of us supposed to be convinced anymore that this is not just the Hillary Rodham Clinton campaign machine? I would really like to know that. I would really like to hear somebody else's views on that, because now she says, I want debates, and Debbie just jumps and says, how high? Please, somebody.
Thank you. No, good. That was good. Anybody else? Celeste, John, you guys want to jump in or we move on? Yes, Celeste. Yes, I see.
Sorry, multitasking for me right at the moment is a little difficult. I just posted a comment that Frederick Murphy had made in YouTube over to live production. He gave some statistics on polling for a fifth presidential debate. It says Bernie Sanders, 87.68% with 21,760 votes. Hillary Clinton, 9.65% with 2,396 votes. Martin O'Malley, 2.67%, 662 votes for a total of 24,818 votes. So my take on this is that whatever poll that was done, which is closed, was asking the question, should they have a fifth presidential debate? And those are the results of that.
I'm confused. So should we have a fifth presidential debate, but you were reading statistics for the three candidates?
Yes, who people vote for wanting to have. Frederick, explain a little bit more in the chat. We'll get that cleared up.
Okay, because it sounds like they were saying who you want to have president. I'm like, Bernie Sanders, great, he wins by a landslide, but then that's about debate. So.
I was up till 3 o'clock this morning.
Okay, let's find out what it is. Good.
It was good information.
It is. It's great
Frederick,
information.
Give us more 411, Frederick, please, and I'll share that out.
Absolutely. Let's look at some of the comments. So this is Judy Jazz. Hey, Judy, thanks. That was me who said I have been told I'm not worthy of getting my Social Security and anything by anyone. I argue this point about my receipt and take back my award of my disability. Absolutely. It shouldn't even be an issue. You shouldn't even have to fight, Judy. You shouldn't even have to fight. That's the thing. In a Bernie Sanders world, you're taken care of. Sick of watching Americans being fucked over like the rest of us. The Bernie's real, and it's only people like him to wake up the rest of the 99 and tell the 1% enough is enough. You can't have it all. Stizor, citizen of the planet. Hey, Stizor, I've seen you in chat, and thank you very much. I love that. Thank you very much. It's true. Am I the only one who thinks when Celeste is on Bernie 26 TV, she is out slaying zombies? She looks just like a badass. Carol, thank you. Observant, yes. Oh, she looks like
from The Walking Dead.
On The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She looks like she'd be out there putting.
Walk around acting all innocent and then shank. Yeah.
That is true. Although I don't know Celeste really acting all that innocent, guys. I'm sorry.
Well, that's true. I'm saying she could.
She could. You could put on the Betty.
People don't know her as well.
There's no reason I should be working 35, 45 hours a week and still have to rack up credit card debt. How are we ever expected to retire? Bad wolf time late. I don't know. I did the same thing. I worked for Sam Ash Music Corporation. My wife at the time in California had a job working full time. I worked 60, 70 hours a week, and we made lots of money, and it didn't matter. Now, I'm not saying we were the best with our money, but it didn't matter. Expenses, taxes, things were, you know how it is. There's an unfair amount of our income comes out of, and And that is the issue right there that Bernie addressed on the forum so well when they said, are you punishing the rich? Yes, we're not punishing the rich. We're just asking them to pay their fucking taxes, folks. When anybody says you can't tax the rich or you tax Wall Street and they won't speculate, well, fuck you, Wall Street. You make plenty of money. You make lots and lots and lots of money already. This is called regulation. This is called taxing the people fairly. You don't get to be rich and then not be taxed. I'm glad you're rich. Give me that fucking tax money because I sure pay mine.
Not only that Bernie Sanders has broke up specifically with this comment, John, the credit cards.
Yes.
Let's be honest.
Yes.
First off, Bernie Sanders has brought up two things that are in direct correlation to this.
Yeah.
These over-exorbitant ATM fees, $4,
Yep.
$5, $6, $7 for one transaction on something that you're going to lose $7 for taking out 20 of your own money.
Yep.
That's ridiculous. It's a way to keep poor people down. The other thing is those credit cards, and the new Senate just voted yesterday that if you're African American, you can get racked up a little more on your auto loan rates. It's the same thing with credit cards. If you are African American, if you're a minority American, your rate automatically goes up by about 0.5%. Depending on your rating, it goes up even more. But they're keeping them at rates that are so high that when you try to pay your monthly bills on them, you're only putting maybe 20% towards the actual principal, and the rest of it's interest anymore.
Oh, if you're lucky. If
that's
you're lucky.
how keeping us down. I mean, that is exactly how rich people, number one, are making more money off of us every single day, not even looking at the tax system in play, keeping us down.
Well, I had the same thing. I had a credit card, Discover, and we were late on a payment, and it went from a 11% rate to 30 automatically. Nothing you can do about it. Won't get reversed. You can't argue with it. You're late on a payment. Fuck you. It's now 30%. That's what they were doing back in the early 2000s. I hope they changed that, but I doubt they did. We tore up our cards when we were done with all that bullshit and piss poor broke and got our asses to Oregon, and we've never had a credit card since because we know that game. But a lot of people aren't able to do that. And this is so I totally understand. We were looking at comments, but that's a personal one for me because that whole money game is just a bunch of shit. What do we got here? Brenda Brown, regarding the Bundy occupation. That's interesting. I've totally ignored that. I have. I would like to point out that our governor in Oregon was trying very hard to get the FBI to do their jobs. She even did a Now This video. I didn't know that. Now I could not find the video, but here's an article from OPB. Okay, we'll look at that. I haven't addressed the. Thank you, Brenda, for giving us that information. I'll have to look at that. I have not addressed that specifically because I am very, very torn on what's going on here. I'm certainly not an advocate of a bunch of militias, and I really don't know what. I've read many articles about what's going on there, and so I'm not going to pretend to speak to it like I know what's going on. Okay. I've scanned these things, trying to understand what's happening. Here's my thing. I don't really care what the actual issue is. What I see happening in the United States of America is groups like this forming and being able to do what they do, and a government that is inept, a federal government that doesn't even know how to react. It's not designed to react. Our federal government needs to be upgraded to function at the speed of the 21st century, but it actually functions at the speed of the 18th. It's so ancient and runs so bureaucratically slow, and it does so just because. It doesn't have to. We could gut it. We could make it faster. We could make it cleaner, leaner. We could improve it, but it functions like this old fuddy-duddy 1700s government that will send a carrier pigeon out and we'll think about it and deliberate and make a decision sometime next year when the ship comes back from Spain about what we should do with something that actually requires a decision in the next hour. Like Flint. That's how our government works. Our government, so when you deal with something like, and here's the other thing. I also think our federal government would have reacted a lot faster. I don't even know what they've done there, but I know some people are dead. Imagine if this had been a group of black folks or Hispanic folks, Muslims, Jesus, it have been Muslims taking over the park or whatever they did, we probably would have nuked our own soil. Imagine how fast our government would have reacted if they weren't white men. This is the only reason it was so slow. It's because they were white men. And that the government functions like a 1700s old fuddy-duddy that has no fucking clue what's going on. Bernie wants to fix that. The last thing on earth our federal government wants is for the American people to, one, know what the hell they're doing. Who runs the man? Who runs the man? Right? Killer Mike. The last thing on earth your federal government wants is for you to know what the hell they're doing. And Bernie Sanders is going to make that transparency happen. Because all the people that are going to come into office for Bernie Sanders are going to be interested in that transparency. And if you're not, you're going to be out. You do it the transparency way, the Bernie-crat way, or you're gone. That's what we're instituting in America. It's a democracy of the people, for the people, by the people. It's going to be our damn way or the highway because it's our fucking country. Pretty easy. I don't even know where the hell I was. I just had to go on a rant again. We're going to shift right now because I want Celeste to talk briefly about this. But first, everybody remember, 40 years ago, Exxon knew that they were destroying our planet. 40 years ago, Exxon was well aware that they were destroying our planet. They chose not to do anything about it. Our government chose not to do anything about it. Corporately owned media chose not to do anything about it except for cover up this fact. Now we are faced with a planet that will not be habitable by your children. If your children were born in the last 10 years, they will not survive old age on this planet, folks. They will not. Yet our government is instituting a 30 or 40-year plan to possibly lower emissions to some amount that doesn't mean dick. We're going to gradually wean ourselves off the oil teat. Bullshit. This is Armageddon. And what we're going to talk about, what Celeste is going to go into here, is this is a kind of a tease for a bigger show because she's got a ton of material on this. This is about a landfill fire. Landfills are old, outdated, ancient ways of storing our garbage that need to be put to dead, and we have better ways of doing this. But what's going on here, I told you we're going to talk about an environmental disaster in every one of our shows. Find another environmental disaster around the world. So Celeste is going to talk to you about this one real quick. All yours, Celeste.
Okay, before I do that, I'm going to correct some information from before. Frederick provided me the answer to the question, and the poll was for the who won the Monday. Let me start that over again. The poll was conducted to find out who won Monday's Democratic 2016 Presidential Town Hall Forum. So there were 24,818 total votes. Bernie Sanders captured 87.68% of those votes with 21,760 votes. Hillary captured 9.65% of the vote with 2,396 votes. And then Martin O'Malley captured 2.6% with his 662 votes, for the total of 24,818 total votes on that poll. Thank you so much, Frederick. I appreciate that. And I appreciate y'all gigging me a little bit. And I know that I'm loved. Thank you. Okay, you may not love me a whole lot after this. John is going to be putting up some slides that I grabbed off of the internet to kind of do as a little bit of a companion piece to this. This is something that I was actually going to be bring up back in December for one of the programs that I was doing as a pre-show for Bernie, and I believe that at the last minute we weren't able to carry that broadcast. So this is still going on. It's been going on for quite some period of time, and the people in St. Louis that are trying to get attention to this, that are being affected, have had very little national coverage of it. You see it once in a while, but not very often. And I am going to try to reach out to the lady that started the group for the West Lake Landfill Legacy. And I'll be providing more information on this group I believe Sunday is when John and I are going to try to do this during the news broadcast. John's real familiar with landfill stuff, and so that's going to be real helpful to answer any questions you might have that come up. So the article that I've pulled was written by Janine Malouf, and she is a writer with Reader Supported News, who is an affiliation of ours through Scott Galindez, who some of you know lives and travels in Iowa and has brought us a number of Bernie's feeds. So he's part of our group back here. And this writer works with Reader Supported News, which is, which is Scott's media outlet. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to read just a couple of paragraphs here just to give you an idea. The name of the article is titled Dirty Bomb in St. Louis, courtesy of EPA, DOE, and Bill Gates. EPA is the Environmental Protection Agency, and the DOE is the Department of Energy. St. Louis is sitting on top of a ticking dirty time bomb, hidden in plain sight, which, if ignited, could result in a nuclear event rivaling Fukushima. This dirty bomb is not the work of ISIS, Hezbollah, or any alleged homegrown terrorist. The sponsors of this dirty bomb have never been cited on any DoD or NSA terrorist watch list, nor have they been treated to a CIA dark prison site or the hell that is Guantanamo. In fact, the parties with both direct and indirect financial interests in this dirty bomb are linked to multiple presidential administrations, from FDR to the present Obama administration, and two Wall Street Fortune 500 corporations, nuclear giant Exelon Corporation and Bill Gates' latest stock conquest, Republic Services, Inc. More importantly, this environmental crime has been perpetrated and supported by the very Superfund law allegedly written to protect all of us. This mother of all dirty bombs has a name, Westlake. Westlake is a living metaphor for the extreme corruption in the present political system that places corporate property rights above public health and safety to the point of lunacy. Westlake disaster. Nuclear waste dump meets underground landfill fire. Let me repeat that. Westlake disaster. Nuclear waste dump meets underground landfill fire. This is the tale of two landfills. Westlake landfill is brimming chock full with illegally dumped nuclear waste, while the second landfill, the Bridgeton landfill, has an underground fire which has been raging for some 5 years. They are separated by roughly 1,000 feet of ground and a chain link fence. More to come on the care and grooming of this homegrown mega dirty bomb. That will be farther down in the information that we'll be sharing with you. Both are owned by Republic Services Incorporated, but longtime Obama ally, nuclear giant Exelon Corporation shares pollution liability, which it voluntarily incurred in a corporate restructuring. So I'm going to leave it at that and just let you know that the next portion of the article talks about the Superfund sites and its correlation to the law that talked about in the early paragraphs here. And I hope you'll tune in on Sunday and we can go a little bit more into detail on this. But if you're in St. Louis, if you know people that are in St. Louis, I highly recommend you get on the Google and you start doing some research and make yourself aware of what's really going on, and we'll bring you the conclusion of this on Sunday. Thank you, John. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please don't be that upset with me, but you need to know this information. It's important because it's not really just in St. Louis. We've got problems with radiation waste facilities all over the country.
Yeah, thank you, Celeste. That was fantastic. And yeah, that's a long article there with a lot of information there, and there is more to talk about that. From a tech side of things, what they're going to say is that there's a little bit of radiation leak, and actually the statement from the Channel 4, whatever that local news, is arrogant as fuck, and I can't wait to talk about that because the guy basically says, if you believe in science, then you understand that this is okay. that there's radiation leaking, but it's not that bad. Well, if you understand how a landfill works, and you understand what an anaerobic landfill fire is next to nuclear waste, even though they're separated by several, like 1,000 feet of dirt, it doesn't really matter. We're talking about this is serious shit. So I'm glad that that Celeste brought this up, and we'll be talking about that. I don't know when we'll later show or whatever. We'll let you guys know. But this is just another example of an environmental disaster in our country. There is an environmental disaster in every single state of our nation. I absolutely guarantee it.
Well, and it's not just the fact that there's an environmental disaster taking place. It's that you're not being told about it. And in many respects, if you are being told, what you're being told is, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. No problems. And I think what's taken place in Flint, Michigan, what's taken place in Sebring, Ohio, which is another lead contamination, really I think we're looking at just the tip of the iceberg. And, I want so badly to trust my government, but I don't trust my fucking government right now. I really don't. And I don't want to feel that way. And I want people in office who can be trusted and who are looking out for us. And we're not being looked out for right now. Corporate profits are being looked out for. And the more you get into this story and the more you find out about what's gone on for years and years, you're going to be disgusted. And again, I keep asking people, what is it going to take for you to be pissed off enough to start taking to the streets and saying enough with this shit? In my opinion, the only thing that is going to make a difference and that is going to get some change that we actually need, that's going to help the 99 and look out for our interests and our fucking lives, is when we start shutting this fucker down. We are going to have to do nationwide strikes, in my opinion, because how else do you affect the bottom line? And when the bottom line is all these people care about, that is the only thing, the only weapon we have. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Sometimes when you talk, and sometimes when I think about the magnitude of everything, for me, we can say it and say it, but this is there's a drawing line in this country between those who actually understand that this is not an election, those who actually understand what's going on here, that we truly are uncovering for ourselves the thorough corruption that is rampant throughout our entire government, throughout all of industry, throughout the partnerships between industry and government, the elite class and media, and the lies they perpetrated for decades. And all of this sounds remarkably extreme. All of this sounds radical. It is extreme because what's been done is extreme, and that's what Celeste is talking about. What has been done here across our environment, across our healthcare, across everything of us. Our ability to work, our ability to save money, our ability to live, our ability to enjoy our lives as American citizens has been oppressed and oppressed and oppressed for decades. But it's been fed to us by corporate media as what needs to be done, the right thing to do. We're going to war for freedom. We're spending 54% of our income on the military. We're just doing that. We're just not going to talk about it. Nobody talks about it. We're not even going to address it. We're using landfills in this country, and we shouldn't be, but we're not going to talk about it. We've got environmental disasters happening in every fucking state, but we're not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about it because we're the media, and we don't have to. And we work with the government and corporations who are committing these crimes against humanity, criminals and corporations that work for the criminals, and media propaganda agents that work for these criminals. I got to pull up the slide before we go, and we're going to go with Josh McKay raps a letter to Governor Snyder about the Flint water crisis. But I got to pull up a slide here that I had yesterday, because this, folks, is what it comes down to for us. When people think that I am insane or that I am too radical or that my thoughts of violence, personal thoughts of violence against people like Rick Snyder are inappropriate, okay, I think of this guy. We are on the brink of our nation becoming a Nazi Germany. We already have the Nazi Germany of the energy industry. That would be ExxonMobil. And Bernie Sanders has called them out specifically for crimes against humanity. But Obama is handing them tax breaks right fucking now. That evil company is making money off you twice. One at the gas pump and two with your tax dollars. And they are murdering children right now. So when somebody says your violence about the CEO of Exxon is inappropriate, I say, fuck. What is justice for an abhorrent creature like that? What is justice for a group of scientists who knowingly denied the truth for decades? For me, what is justice, folks? How do you bring those people to justice? This is how. You remember what this guy said. When the Nazis came for the communists, I did not speak out, as I was not communist. When they locked up the Social Democrats, I did not speak out. I was not a Social Democrat. When they came for the trade unionists, I did not speak out, as I was not a trade unionist. And when they came for the Jews, I did not speak out, as I was not a Jew. When they came for me, there was no one left to speak out. Now is our time, folks. We are speaking out today. And this is what we have to do. This is our D-Day. This is my generation's D-Day. Is to band together as a nation and save it from its own destruction. Our government is corrupt. Our corporate media is corrupt. Corporations run this country, and we are going to stop that from continuing with Bernie Sanders. Thank you for joining us today. I think we have a broadcast later today, but I honestly couldn't tell you where it is. Is that the Arizona thing? Or is that...
No, actually, today we are working on doing a live virtual phone banking for everybody that has caught those hints. We're not 100% sure if we're going to get that done tonight, but for everybody that was saying that they're going to put in dollars and $10 and all that, yeah, we got most of you screenshot. We're going to expect that money to be donated at BernieSanders.com tonight.
There you go.
Tomorrow is the Arizona for Bernie concert at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We went through the speakers and the, I believe it was Sean McCullen. I closed that window. I apologize for that, but that's 7 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow night in Arizona. Saturday, we have live at 6:30 p.m. Students for Bernie out of Iowa City, Iowa, featuring there, of course, the one and only Bernie Sanders. That's why we're all here and together. Vampire Weekend, Foster the People, and Killer Mike. That's what we got so far. We're
awesome.
Stacking them up as he stacks them up as well. You know how it goes. Thanks a lot, folks.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that wrap-up, Lou. And I do want to look at these, get to the last couple quotes. This is the second piece from Brenda Brown. I didn't know this. I don't understand what's going on here with these medical rules. We'll have to look into that. I am a big, big cannabis. I grow, and I am a user for both recreational and medical, and I have been a supporter of cannabis for epilepsy because I have epilepsy, and I want to do a whole show on this, but thank you for bringing that up, Brenda. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. We're going to make marijuana one of the topics tomorrow. Two old ladies just told Rick Santorum when he went to shake their hands they are for Bernie. This was just on C-SPAN. We'll have to find that clip. Woo! Very nice. Yeah, so we have one more here. What we got? Here in Nebraska, we have corporations trying to privatize hog farms for their own production by paying senators as little as $500. Really? You can buy a senator for $500? Jesus Christ. Our chicken already goes overseas to be processed. Our pigs now, too. Sign if you disagree with this, and then we've got this act. We'll have to find that. We'll have to find that. Just disgusting, folks. Corporations are trying to own everything. They can't own you, and they can't own this country. Something that I know Sean was in here, maybe wanted to talk about, and maybe we can just bring this up tomorrow, Sean, and that would be that Seattle, Washington is going to vote, or Washington in general, is going to vote on overturning Citizens United. They're saying fuck you to that shit. If the government won't do it, if Obama won't do it, although I've seen some hints to that in the news, that he's getting ready to do something historic along those lines, that would be neat. But yeah, we'll talk about the fact that Washington's all ready to do that. This is what needs to happen. If your federal government isn't going to do what you want, you've got to make it happen in your own town, your own city, your own state, whatever you can make done. This is how we take back our country, folks. Thank you for joining us. Here's Josh McKay Rapp's letter to Governor Snyder about Flint water crisis. And I love this. This is great. Governor Snyder, you are hopefully going to be done.
Shit.
Yes, a piece of shit. A fucking piece of shit. That deserves an F-bomb. All right, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
I can't see it all. Even if I could, it'll all be great. Put your picture on my wall. It reminds me that it's not so bad. It's not so bad.
Dear Richard Snyder, I hope you get this message, you fucking piece of shit. I hope it's sent to you directly. I hope this fucking video makes you sick to your stomach, but it won't, cause you can't feel for my city since you ain't from it, right? What happened? I thought you were all about Michigan. So where's our money going? To that condo that you're living in? $2 million fucking dollars for your household, and we can't even drink the fucking water that our house holds. That's how cold. The trust that we had for you is gone. We thought you were helping when it was really you all along. So fuck your filters, fuck your bottles, and go fuck yourself. We'll take this shit from here. You've done enough, so fuck your help. Now this is it. I encourage people in Flint and all around the world to make yourself known with the intent to help a city that is literally dying of this shit. While they've been sleeping on it, we've been tired of this shit. I noticed the water. I got a question for you, Snyder. We've all been thinking, do you trust our water enough to let your family drink it? Well, what about Melissa? Would you make her a bottle with it? Or even let your son Jeff take a shower in this shit? See, things are different. Your family grew up privileged. Your kids went to private schools. That's $20K in tuition. So you don't know about the kind of shit my family went through. Getting charged for water we can't use, plus the rent's due. I really hope you get this fucking message that I sent you. You sick of hearing this? Well, from our water, we're sick too. You treat my city like it should be called the Flint Zoo. Your name fits perfect, cause all you make is some dick moves. I take a look at all of this like, how can it be fair when we can catch legionnaires just from fucking breathing air? We trusted you, Rick, even put you in power, and you repay us by contaminating our water? But the worst part about it's when I look at my baby who has no control in this, but deals with this shit daily. He looks to me, he knows that daddy protects him, but even I feel helpless knowing he could be infected. Now I salute to Meek Mill, Big Sean, Michael Moore, Cher, and everybody that kept us in your prayers. I'm not asking for pity because we'll never need it, cause we gon' be alright as long as we still breathing. Now here's the controversial question. Now what did you know, and when did you know it? 100,000 people poisoned from the lead and corrosion. Permanent damage to our children, our future is them. This shit lowers IQs, imagine what they could have been. A doctor, a lawyer, a business degree investor, or maybe even a governor to do your job better. But your decision fucked us up, all over a couple bucks. Well, karma comes fast, motherfucker, you better buckle up. Cause look at what we've done for you, then look at what you've done to us. You knew this shit the whole time, you just kept it covered up. You tried to keep it on the hush like you actually believe that you would walk away from all this bullshit scotch-free. It takes a special kind of person to let all these little children live a day-to-day life, but can't use the sink in the kitchen. And this the shit we live in. Rick Snyder has never cared, so I'm asking everyone to keep my city in your prayers. Thank you.
Huge